This is my dad's 1986 Buick Grand National. I brought into town to do some work to it. We got pretty far with turbo, converter restall, interior, new windshield, paint correction, 67, 68 turbo. My old one went on it, and the car was running really well. But eventually it started smoking under boost pretty heavily. We started doing some investigations, and the leak down test told the story. Soon after, we did some investigation and found that the wrist pin had come loose. So this brings me to the 85. Well, we swapped out the 86 Grand National for my dad's old 85. This is the car that kind of started it all. He bought it in 1987 or 88. Put over 200,000 on it. It was repainted back in 96, 97. We'll get it cleaned up as best we can. We got lots of stuff that's gonna go on it. Got to get it registered. That plate, pretty old. And it looks like the last time, 2012. And the inspection, I don't know if that's accurate, but 2003. Alright guys, I just thought I would give a proper introduction to my next 1 to 2 month project. I haven't really updated the channel with anything. I've never done this, but my personal Grand National has been 986. Back in March, I tried to refresh the motor and it didn't go well. I ended up hurting a number 3 main bearing shortly after putting it back together. Turned out the cap was no longer tight in the register and I did not catch it. So anyway, in the meantime, while the engine's at the machine shop, I have been bringing in some of my dad's toys, including his 72 Chevelle, his 89 Turbo Trans Am, and his 86 Grand National. I didn't do any content for the 86, and it is turning out well until one of the piston pins decided to unpress itself and eat a cylinder wall. So here we are. We have my dad's 85. This is the original Grand National to the family. It was purchased in 87 used. My dad then went on to drive it for 240,000 miles, I believe. Only let him down a few times. I can remember as a kid helping him try to get it back together to be able to drive it to work on Monday. I remember stuff like a cam sensor, fuel pump, I don't remember. And then the car ended up sitting for a good while until I got my Grand National, and I got pretty motivated to get his back on the road. It had some pretty cracked headers, and so back in 2001, I think, he bought some ATR headers. I installed them, and anyway, drove the car for quite a while. This car has some mildly ported heads, unknown cam, something my dad doesn't remember what it was, but it's probably something small like a 206 flat tappet. Anyway, has alcohol injection. I converted a TA49. Pardon the mess inside, I just kind of threw stuff in that's going to get installed, but he recently redid the seats and carpeting. And when I say recently, I really mean like 5 years ago, but the car hasn't been driven much. This is a hot air car, for those not familiar. These cars did not have an intercooler, and the turbo sits right on top of the intake manifold and just pushes air straight through it. It's a fairly poor flowing manifold, and overall a pretty complicated design that is much harder to work on than the intercooled cars, but I've got a list of good stuff going on. I'm going to rebuild the transmission, put some billet parts. I have a 3000 stall old 911 converter that I really like that's going to go in it. We're going to put a new alcohol pump, a new Walbro 255 pump in the rear, and I've got a posi. This car was a non-posi unit. As you can see, it's got a fairly fresh alternator I put on a few years ago. Probably hasn't been driven hardly at all since then. There's a TA49 with some adapters from back in the, I don't know, 2004, 5, 6 range, I think. Anyway, I've got some plug wires, and I'll put plugs in. Probably gonna reroute this charcoal canister here and make the intake pull air from under the car, something these cars could use all the help they can get for getting cooler air into the intake. Anyway, as you can see, it's got some flaws in the paint, but overall it's a pretty nice car. We're gonna do a little bit of touch up on some of the trim. It's got some old polish, probably some turtle wax from way back in the day when I thought that was the best stuff you could get. We'll probably cut and buff it. We'll do a little bit of chip fixing. As you can see, it's got a few on the door. It's got a scratch there. Anyway, I just like to get it back to driver status. Oh, we also have a new AC compressor because the last time I turned this one on, it then started smoking and the clutch was locked up. So we don't want that. Also got new belts, a lower radiator hose, and for now the upper is gonna stay because they don't make a replacement for the hot airs. So that kind of covers a lot of what's gonna happen with this car. There's probably a lot of stuff I left off. We're gonna paint some bezels, some trim rings around those amber lights, just kind of clean it up, get it registered as a collector car. I do have some gauges, water temperature and oil temperature. My dad liked flying blind back in the day. What you don't know won't hurt you. Anyway, a spoolful drip pan, but I do plan on possibly replacing the oil pan gasket and rear main seal. I'm going to determine what's leaking once the transmission is out. And that's it. So I don't put a whole lot of content out, so I don't expect many people to like and subscribe, especially with the hot air Grand National, but it's just something I wanted to share with the people that do follow my YouTube. And this car does mean a decent amount to me. It was what got me into working on Grand Nationals and loving them and wanting one as myself. And then this one led my dad to getting an 86 Grand National and an 87T once he felt how the intercooled cars felt. But we're gonna get this thing running a lot better. It has been to the track once. It went 13.7 at 107.5. Did not have any boost in first gear and then kind of came on real strong in second. And anyway, we'll see if we can get it quite a bit better. My goal is to go, I don't know, 1250s at 112, 13, something like that. We'll see what we can come up with. So stay tuned, I'll upload another video. Well, we're back under the 85, trying to get ready to put the limited slip diff in, and of course, this little guy happens, and none of my magnets are small enough to get in there. I think that it's loose, so we'll see if we can get it out. I'll keep you updated. Well, we went ahead and cut right through the bolt, and yet the pin still will not come out. It moves. 900 tools down here now. There's the pinhole. But it will not come out. We've cut all the way through. There is no more bolt left. Well, just an update. The posi carrier is finally in. I had to do a lot of cutting with a cutoff wheel to get the old pin to come out finally. We've got this one set up to around 8 thousandths. The pattern, can't really tell a whole lot, but it was fine before, and it's the same backlash. So, but they're used gears, obviously, with like 250,000 miles on them. Pretty broken in. So, finally got that in. We can't go any further because we're waiting on axle seals, which are sadly not something you just get at the auto parts anymore. And they're not here yet and haven't shipped. But the axle seals are showing signs of leakage, so we're gonna go ahead and replace that. As you can tell, one of the other things, we've restored the gas tank, kind of. It's got a new racetronix 255 setup in it. And if we come out here, we did a quick paint job on the rear cover. Again, this is not a show car. This is just something we're trying to get back up and running. And I've got the car jacked up now. And we're probably gonna do the transmission shortly after I get the rear end button back up. So that's the latest update. And thanks. Just an update on the 85 Grand National. We now have the transmission fully apart. Really not a terrible build. No billet parts. This was done back in '97, and then I think in 2002 a torque converter stator broke, or it was a stator on the pump, I can't remember. But anyway, we direct drum, pretty good shape. We can, I measured it, everything's good. We're gonna go with the wideband that I have on the shelf. This is kind of gonna be a hodgepodge of used parts that I have. Stock forward drum, we'll be replacing that with a billet unit. Unfortunately, this billet unit here that we have doesn't, the splines are just a little bit on the large side, and they don't want to go on the overdrive planetary very easily, so we're gonna have to mess with that. If you look at, these are the forward, or the directs, I'm sorry. They had altos in them. Some of these are also a little bit worn. It looks like choline steels, which I'm not sure I realized were around back then. Here's some of our forwards. As you can see, a little bit of darkness, but nothing bad. So we'll get that set up a little bit better than it was. It does have a 3-clutch overdrive, which is a nice upgrade. Something we don't plan on going into overdrive in this car, wide open throttle, but it will get locked up at wide open. And then, excuse the mess. This pump we must have put in back in the day. This was a PTS Extreme pump with a 500 boost valve, 400 reverse. Anyway, I took it apart. It's still in great shape, so we'll be reusing that. It's got the hardened stator. And other than that, we've got a couple of different options. I've got two billet input shafts here. I think this will be the one that we are going to use. I've already installed the solid Teflon rings on it. This one splines into the torque converter just fine. I know that I took this out of a customer's car at one point because their Vigilante converter, it would not go in. But it goes into the 911 just fine. I guess the Vigilante was just a little bit tight, so I don't want it to go to, I won't put it in a customer's car, but I'll put it in one of mine, and we'll see how it goes. So hopefully we'll have this together by the end of the week. And anyway, we do have a little bit more work to do underneath. I'm gonna take the crossover and flywheel off and replace the oil pan gasket because it's leaking pretty profusely after I tighten everything up. So rear main looks tight, and I mean, looks sealed up still. So we're gonna leave it. Don't feel like going through all that for a car that rarely gets driven. But once this one's done, it's gonna be nice. We do have a CK shift kit. It'll be dual fed. Anyway, excuse my mess again. I have a very small garage with lots of projects. Another billet input shaft over here, and a billet anchor pin, new seals, new clutches. Gonna put some Rebestos blues, a wide alto band. It's an old stock since I don't make them anymore, but I'm gonna go ahead and put one in here. And anyway, so that's it. I'll continue to update. Sorry, there's not much to see on this. But I will say it has a BRF governor already with a BQ valve body, which is a nice combination. And then one of the surprising things, I can't find it on any of the old receipts of this transmission, but if you look in here, I don't know if you can see. All right, sorry, that one left off. My phone did something weird. I was on some kind of lock mode, but you can see that this one has the straps for the bushings on the planetary, and it does for both the rear planetaries, which is really nice. That's a nice upgrade. I've actually had one fail on my own car back in the day before I realized that these had, the Grand National ones had a strap in there, but it was my understanding the 84, 85s did not, and they had the regular bushings on each pinion. So I don't know if somebody upgraded this at some point or if it's a late 85 build and it just got them. Not sure, happy to have it, and it'll be going back together as is. I'll talk to you later. At this point, we've got the transmission back in, we've fired it up, and we have what sounds to be a rod knot. After some diagnosing and a little bit of work with the camera, we were able to see that it was actually the windage tray hitting the crank. I guess it got fried up, moved it, and ended up being a pretty easy fix using a pick. Was able to pull it down through the drain plug, put it back together, and everything was good. you can see the mark. If I can do this in video at the same time. You'll see it hit the baffle, or the windage tray, whatever you want to call it. So, I'd say that's our problem. Now let's see if we can bend it back. So just a little update. Gotten a lot of stuff done mechanically so far. We've got the rear end's posi unit in. We rebuilt the transmission. Has a billet forward drum, billet input shaft, good clutches and band, servo, all set up. Shifts really nice. Next, we got a few more mechanical things to do, but I think I'm going to start on the paint work. And so this is just kind of giving you a little bit of a before. I feel like it's going to look better in the video than what it really does. You can really see on the hood here how neglected it's been sitting out in the country. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm a one-man show, so can't really do anything while I'm doing it. But I plan on using a two-step of 2 stages of Benzerna. It's a polish I really like to use, and we'll see how it goes. Just wanted to give an update. It does have some stains, unfortunately. We're gonna have to sand out, and I'll show you how it turns out. Thanks. Well, as it turns out, guys, this was a single stage paint. One of the first ones I've ever worked with. My dad got this painted probably back in '97 after an accident. Sorry, the light's pretty low. It still definitely has some flaws. I could go deeper, but for what it is, I might just leave it rather than cutting any thinner. I don't know how thick the paint is, but it turned out pretty well. We still got a lot of cleanup to do, some work on the wheels, some bleach right on the old white letters, but you kind of get the idea. It turned out pretty well. This side over here has quite a bit of orange peel that I could try to get out. But for now, we're gonna leave it and get back to mechanical stuff. I just like doing paint correction. Just wish it was a little bit cooler outside. Today was 93. On October, what is today? The 9th, 8th, something. But anyway, just thought I would share. This is the update, and this is how it's looking so far. Made some good mechanical progress so far. I've got the new AC compressor on. I can tell you the upgrade to serpentine setup on the 86, 87 cars is a massive improvement over this. This is something I really hope I don't have to mess with again for a long time. While we were here, replaced that fuel filter there. Got kind of lucky. I know I had replaced it, I don't know. Didn't have many miles on it. It was a long time ago, but that definitely can't be good. I remember watching an episode of Legit Streetcars where he drove his Grand National home and it kept stalling on him, and it was similar noise. So we'll see if that fixes anything. So we've got a new F-body radiator about to go in, new upper and lower radiator hoses, and we've got this housing we're going to use for now. I'm going to try to shove it up over the lip, but this thing is seeing better days, and I wouldn't trust it for very long. So we did buy another one. It's not here yet, but I would like to get the car running. So we're going to make this hose right here work, and we'll probably get it fired up tonight. A couple of little things. There's some wiring on the alternator, which is pretty hacked, which I'd like to fix. And anyway, I'll keep you updated how things are going. We're gonna also charge the AC and hopefully have some cold AC. Oh, and real quick, for any hot air guys that want to go to an electric fan but like the shroud, which I do, it's just a big open spot if you don't on the front of the engine. It's not a very attractive front of the engine to me. I have the original shroud I'm going to clean up here. I've been running this for a long time, but the factory 86, 87 fan goes right in to the same slot. And I just have a couple of zip ties holding it in. And then have it wired up to run high speed all the time. Key on, easy enough. And that's the setup. So we're gonna clean it up, get that back in there once the radiator is installed. Well, we're out cruising the car. Everything mechanically so far is pretty sound. Transmission shifts great. We've got lockup. We're having a little issue with the map sensor. It's got about 2 volts key on instead of 1.6. And so I think the boost is wrong. But oddly, the scan master and the boost gauge are much closer. I think we're somewhere around 18 to 20. Meth is working, transmission works well. We do not have dash lights for the speedometer, so we'll have to work on that next. Right now we're cruising, locked up. There's drive. We're going to slow down to roughly 35 or so. It didn't drop in a second there. Looks like I'm gonna have to turn this off. They may be waiting for me up here. Just kidding. A little bit further along in our test drive here. Right at 169 to 170, no knock. Air fuel is now in the 10.6, 10.7 range at wide open. We got the meth turned on pretty high. It's a hot air, so we want to cool that intake charge as much as we can. When we get back, we'll take a look at the log. Gonna slow down here and try to get another little second gear hit. That's it, guys. We're going to take it home and make some more adjustments, and I think we're going to have to run a new 5-volt reference from the TPS over to the map sensor because we're reading about 5.6 volts, which is a little bit too high, throwing off our voltage reading with key on. So again, map sensor boost is not accurate, but at this point it's showing higher boost, thus it's throwing more methanol in. So I'm not too concerned. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Alright guys, a quick recap. I washed it, touched up a few other spots, It's got some old dry wax in some spots that I just having a hell of a time trying to get off. But it turned out pretty well. Sorry about the glare there. I should have done this at a different light. So as a recap, since we got the car at my house, starting from the rear, we dropped the tank, did a Walbro 255. It already had one in it, but it was probably 25 years old. Who knows, maybe it was a more reliable one than what got put in there. But anyway, then we moved to the rear end and we put a Yukon posi unit. The car really doesn't warrant enough power to go with the Eaton on this thing. So we installed some gauges in the center pod there. Did the paint correction work. We pulled the transmission out. Rebuilt that. Billet input, billet forward drum, dual fed, wider band, good pump, all that stuff. Put the spool full drip lip on there, which is really nice because now there's no drips. We did change the oil pan gasket as well. Forgot about that. That sealed up 90% of any leaks. We installed a new methanol pump mounted under the front bumper there. New belts, a new AC compressor, all new coolant hoses. The lower one, this upper one, which is for some other car, but it does work. They don't make one for the hot air cars. Plug wires, I won't take a picture of it, but changed the fuel filter and we converted to an 8687 crankshaft position sensor. Don't know if there's a problem with what we had, but I found out that it wasn't an 8687, which I have got plenty of those around as spare parts. And so anyway, we also upgraded power logger, 6.1 wideband tracking chip, and a scan master. It's not the prettiest thing. It's where I tied in for the oil pressure. It was a whole mess down there with the oil pressure sending unit, trying to get it down there. So just left it there. It's no show car. So cool thing I've already shown, but it's got the 8687 electric fan mounted inside of the factory shroud. We did add a new decal there, the emissions one. I like it. So I'm trying to think of anything else that I've done here, but that's the majority of it. The car does have mildly ported heads, some kind of flat tappet cam. It's got a TA49 with the adapters there for the throttle body, and 911 converter, 3000 stall, and the methanol injection with the chip, and ATR headers from way back in the day. The stock ones were so cracked. He bought those years and years ago. They've been on there for a while. It's got a 2.5-inch downpipe instead of the stock one that necks down to 2 inches at some points, I believe. Got a Cat ATR 2.5-inch catback exhaust, and that's pretty much it. Next, we're going to try to detail the wheels a little bit and get them looking nice, and maybe we'll take it out tonight and do a draggy. It's supposed to get down to the 60s just to see where the car stands. So I'll keep you updated. After making the draggy pull, I noticed that the idle oil pressure was down below 10, kind of scary. I'd also noticed that wide open throttle, it only went to about 35 to 38 PSI at most, so thought we might have a problem. Decided to verify it with a different gauge, and this is what we found. Well, unfortunately, our gauge appears accurate. And we've got this one on it. Unless there's an issue with running off the back of the turbo, off the feed line, I don't know. I know that it makes it slower to respond. Well, this is what a bottom of a car with 255,000 miles has on it that's had some oil leaks. Oil pressure kind of sucked on this thing. It was, after making the draggy pull, less than 10. Wouldn't go above about 35. Anyway, so we are installing an HV kit. I know a lot of guys don't like them. I do, so I don't really care. I've never had a cam sensor fail, never had a cam bearing show wear or anything like that. Not really looking to pull anything on this car and rebuild it. So we're just trying to get some more pressure out of it. It looks like it had a 40-pound spring in it as well, which prevented it from going any higher, but I don't think that it was really going to. So I'll keep you updated. You can see there's some pretty good wear in that pocket. If this were my car, I would be replacing the timing cover. You see some pretty good wear here. We've got a brand new one here with a nice fresh surface. The pocket isn't 100% squared, so gears aren't terrible, but we'll see what the new setup does. It's a orange spring that's quite a bit shorter than some of the others we've got in the kit. So we'll get it all set up. We'll go for 2. Well, we're out gonna try to make another draggy run. It's about 57 degrees out, so see if it does any better. We do not have tires, unfortunately, so I don't expect much out of the ET, but we'll see what we get. Unfortunately, the draggy video did not save, so this is all that I've got. 110 is okay, 60 foot is trash. It could do a lot better on a good tire. Maybe one day. We made one successful draggy hit. I don't really see a point doing another. I don't think it's going to get any better. You can see by the gauges now, we are cruising. We got about 45 psi cruising oil pressure. Water temps right now are pretty low, in the mid 160s or so. We're cruising home. I'll call it successful. You'll see the video, but it went at 13.3, but at 110 mile per hour is pretty solid. I'll look at the log. If I had to guess, it was around 22 to 23 psi at most. This little 49 could use an upgrade. But that's probably going to close this series out. I planned on getting kind of a send-off, doing a burnout, leaving away, but the spot that we went to today to video had, unfortunately, a sheriff. They kind of ruined that plan. So this final draggy video will probably be the send-off with a few pictures of how it looks. I still have a few little things to do, but really nothing worth adding to the video. It's already a little bit longer than most people want. One of those is trying to figure out why that light is on despite changing all the bulbs, and figuring what that incessant squeak is. So anyway, guys, if you stuck around this long, thank you for watching the video. I'll have some more, especially once I get my car back. Hopefully I plan on having it running again late November, early December. Rings are getting dropped off tomorrow at the machine shop, and we'll have it back, and hopefully we'll be shooting for something better than 980s. So I'll keep you posted on that. Thanks again, guys. Bye. I took a screen grab of the power logger log. It looks like we were actually around 26 psi, spiking at 27 when the converter locked. A bit much for a hot air car at this setup, but seems to run fine. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I don't think there's much to gain between 23, 24, but here's a look at the log. Nothing bad. Everything looked good. No knock, and good air fuel.